Hi, this is Steve Feldman, publisher of Floor Covering News. I'm here with Jeff Jaeckle, president of Jaeckle Distributors, based in Madison, Wisconsin. Jeff, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Steve. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Jeff, we've been doing a lot of things with retailers. This is really one of the first we're doing with the distributor. Let's first start talking about your territories, the major brands you distribute, maybe, the 10-second history of the company.
Yeah, sure. Our company was started way back in 1958 by my grandfather. So it's a family-owned business. It's been in the family for over 60 years. My brother and I currently own the company and run the company. We started out in the upper Midwest. We've recently expanded. We did an acquisition 2 years ago. Our territory now covers from Wisconsin being our home, but Upper Michigan, Minnesota, the Dakotas, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois, and into Indiana. So really, the full Midwest.
You're a full Midwest distributor.
Right.
Tell me about the brands. What are your major brands?
We have obviously a number of major brands. We recently aligned with Hallmark, the hardwood and LVT company, fantastic company. Tarkett is a major brand for us. Inner Ceramic on the tile side, Florida Tile on the tile side, Mercier hardwood, LM hardwood. We've really been putting a lot of effort into our private label, which we call Trends. Our Trends line is we cover every category. Excuse me. And so that's where a lot of our effort is going. As we build that brand, and some of it we're using products from major suppliers in that, as many distributors are. I'll also say another major brand we carry is Caesar Stone on the countertop side of our business, the quartz countertops. A fantastic supplier, fantastic product. I know I'm leaving some people out, but we really value the partnerships we have. Our suppliers are our lifeblood, so we have a lot of great partnerships.
So as a distributor, the challenges you face and have faced over the last couple of months, different than retailers, obviously, because of, multiple states. With each state comes different guidelines. Talk about the challenges that you as a distributor faced over the last couple of months.
Yeah, so the first challenge we faced was, so when COVID started happening, honestly, literally, when the NBA shut down that night, I was watching that on TV, and I realized this isn't going to be the only shutdown. Things are going to happen. And as you know and remember, that first week probably seemed like it lasted a month. There was so much information coming out, different information from different states. Finally, the first state in our area that did something was Illinois. We got the shelter in place order from Illinois, and we weren't sure what that meant for us. Are we an essential business? There was a ton, with every state that we operate in, there was a ton of scrambling to uncover or dissect what their orders really entailed in terms of what businesses could operate, which of our customers could operate, and things like that. Obviously, being in this construction industry, we're considered essential, so we got through that. But each state, some states like Nebraska never issued a shelter-in-place order, but we still really took, we did our own sort of put our own thoughts to this, and we did things like we had curbside pickup only in Nebraska, even though technically we didn't need to do that. We just felt like that was smart. We have probably 70% of our people working from home in all states. And so we took a lot of measures independent of what certain states did. But in the beginning, it was a real scramble. I'm sure almost every distributor and retailer, those of us who operate in different states, had to deal with that. It was a real scramble figuring out what to do in each state. In the end, I feel like we are doing probably what the most restrictive state that we operate in is recommending. And we're doing that throughout in terms of how we're servicing customers. We really are, we're left it up to our customers. If they wanted one of our reps in their store, that was up to them. And it was up to our rep too. We weren't going to have a salesperson go somewhere if a salesperson wasn't comfortable. I would say most in-person calls from our sales team over the last 3 months, I mean, I'm sure that's been cut by 95%. And it's just opening up again now.
Is it a big issue? Obviously, as a distributor, you have an incredible investment in inventory. And if business basically comes to a shutdown, you're stuck with, a cash flow issue.
Right.
Is that a big issue for you guys?
Of course. One of the things that, we really have to thread the needle as a distributor, because one of the things when this started, we knew it would get bad. We actually, our inventory system is going to tell us to buy based on past history, which we knew the future was not going to be representative of past history. So we did really try to make our own determinations on how much we had to scale back on our future orders. And we've done that. But when I say we have to thread the needle, we also don't know when it's going to pick up and if it's going to be a V or a U shape. So we can't get caught short either. So we certainly didn't cut inventory to the level that today's business would say it should be at. I would say we're still overstocked, but in part that's on purpose, because when it does pick up, we can't get caught short. I mean, we have to ride the wave up too. So that's a tough situation for distributors. But I think we've managed that part really well.
Has June picked up?
Yeah. I would, we are still running, we're looking at our business every week compared to the same week last year. We're still running weekly declines, but whereas April and May would have been in that 20 to 30% range, in the low or mid single digits now. So it is coming back.
Week to week, do you find it picking up?
We do. Yep. Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
I want to focus on the retailer. Obviously, you have plenty of retailer customers. I want to focus on what you're seeing out there. Tell me what some of the good retailers are doing successfully to navigate through this comeback. And let's go the other way too. What you've noticed some retailers are doing that maybe they shouldn't be doing, or what they're not doing to prepare for the recovery.
Those customers we have that are doing better, I think, fit a couple of criteria, all which were decided before this happened, which is diversification of business and a real commitment to technology. One of the things that I think it does go back to the engagement somebody has with a customer online. We know that 88% of the people start their process online. So customers who were able to engage consumers online during the pandemic are seeing the benefits of that now, because it's turning into business. And maybe the customer is still not ready for the install because they still don't want someone in their home or whatever, but they're positioning themselves to capitalize on interactions that consumers had with their company on their website because they couldn't come into the store and that kind of thing. I just think that when you're a consumer out there and you're thinking about redoing your home and you can't go into stores, you absolutely, if you're a dealer with a really strong web presence, you're going to benefit from that over dealers who don't. Just talking anecdotally to some of our customers who I know do have that really strong presence, who do have room visualizing software, I think they are well more positioned to take share during the recovery. Not just get the recovery, but take share.
Some retailers told me that their secret sauce has been maintaining their advertising, and still having that mind awareness with the customer, whether they're in the buying mode now or pent up demand, whether they're going to be buying in the next couple of months. Maintaining the advertising, I've heard, has been something successful. You finding that as well?
Yeah. I will always I always have a bias to people who are aggressive during times like this. And I can even think back to the housing recession of 2008. a lot of people just sort of pulled back and did not invest in that kind of thing. And there's other companies we do business with, who swear by it and said that saved me, that helped me pick up share during the recovery. It might not have turned into a sale that day, but once people were buying again, they believe that it helped them. I think that same thing applies to today. So I'm not going to pretend that I know one of my customers' business better than they do. I just think that investing or continuing to invest in advertising is really important, because especially at a time when you know others are not.
Best guess. Traditionally, in an election year, things tend to slow down as you approach the election. People just seem to go into freeze mode. You think that's going to happen this year? I mean, they've kind of been in freeze mode for a couple of months already. You think that we kind of circumvent that this year?
First of all, I will say I never understood that. I get it. It happens. I never understood it but it's a real thing. But I actually think that, and I know this is going to sound like a cliche, but I really believe that when people are confined more to their homes, we saw this after 9/11 too, that more home improvement projects come out of that. Mm-hmm. So you might have a neutralizing effect of whatever, depressed the business would have been towards the election. Maybe this increased in the desire to remodel and do home projects will offset that somewhat. So it's hard for me to say, but I really believe in this. I mean, my view on this is not that whatever we've lost in April and May, that we've lost for good. My belief is that demand isn't going away. It's just going to happen in June, July, August, September, maybe all the way through the fourth quarter. So that's a tough one to predict. If it was a normal year, I'd say, yeah, there's probably going to be a little blip downwards before the election, but this may neutralize that.
Projection for the rest of the year?
My projection is that I think June is still going to show a negative for our industry, although much less of a negative. I think we'll start to flatten out in July and August. I'm based on the people we follow, the economists we follow, we expect to be ahead of the game in the fourth quarter, probably third quarter roughly flat, but we do expect things to really bounce in the fourth quarter. And that's barring, of course, any major other second waves or lockdowns or anything like that. But we're really not projecting increases until the fourth quarter.
Gotcha. Jeff, thanks for being with us today.
Sure, no problem, Steve. I appreciate it.
Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thanks. You too.
Bye now.
Talk to you later.